I first came across cryptocurrency and what it was or what it was called is I was speaking at a tech conference. So first and foremost, I'm just a speaker, as a lot of you know, and I get invited to speak at all sorts of different conferences. And this one wasn't even a real estate conference. This was a tech conference. And I'm at this tech conference speaking about technology and real estate. And then somebody after me is going to get up and talk about technology and insurance. And then there was a finance person there talking about technology in the lending industry. And it was in Palo Alto, California. And there's also a lot of just tech people there that aren't in a particular industry. And after I was done with my segment, this gentleman came up to me and he goes, "So what are your thoughts about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? And do you think, as a real estate agent yourself, do you think that one day somebody's going to be able to buy a home with Bitcoin as their form of currency and actually use that instead of US dollars or anything like that?" And this is 2014-ish. And I said, first of all, let me answer it this way. Anything that gains popularity or becomes something that most people or the masses, it becomes common with, can find its way into anything. He goes, "Okay, I would agree with that." I go, "I think it will be a case-by-case situation. I think that there might be some liability aspects. I think that there'll only be certain types of transactions that can be done with cryptocurrency. But again, I think that there's, anything can find its way into the real estate industry, and anything that the masses accept can find its way into anything." He goes, "This is amazing. I've never heard a real estate agent even," first of all, the fact that you even know what I'm talking about. And then the second thing is you actually think it could eventually be where somebody could buy a home with cryptocurrency. And I said, again, we'll have to see. He goes, "Well, here's my card. I want to stay in touch." He goes, "Because I'm a broker and I do stocks." He's a regular stockbroker. But he goes, "I also have clients who I've helped invest in cryptocurrency who are making a lot in cryptocurrency. And they're asking me more and more, do you think I can buy a property? Do you think I can invest in real estate with cryptocurrency? So I want to keep your number because when it is allowed or when it does become mainstream, I have some people to send your way." And I said, "Fantastic." And then as he walked away, what do you think I Googled? What the hell is Bitcoin? What the hell is cryptocurrency? I actually had to Google it after he walked away, but he thought I was an expert. So obviously that's a different topic that I teach, is language of sales, right? Controlling conversation, knowing how to not come across like you're not an expert in something or you don't know about something, because that's the same case if somebody calls you and starts asking you questions that you're not sure of in your industry. You don't want to say that. You want to kind of try to figure out how to get, but it's the people who hem and haw that lose the deal. It's the people who are like, what's that? So think about how I controlled that conversation. Think about how I answered his questions. Everything was open-ended, right? Well, I think it'll be a case-by-case situation. Well, I think anything that gains popularity can find its way into any industry or anything. I think there might be some liability, maybe some things that need to be regulated. Maybe only certain transactions will be able to be done. I could have been talking about anything in that situation. So this is 2014. So I start Googling. I start watching videos on it. I'm watching countless videos on YouTube of what Bitcoin is, what cryptocurrency is, what's behind it, what is the blockchain, and start reading articles about it. And within just probably I'd say 90 days of all the research I was doing, I knew cryptocurrency and I knew it well. I had already downloaded a crypto wallet. I had already played with buying like $20 worth of a Bitcoin and then selling $40 worth of my Bitcoin and figuring out exactly what it was and why it had a value to it. And before I know it, 2 years later, everything changed. He called, turned into a referral, turned into the first transactions that were ever done in the United States where a Bitcoin buyer purchased a property and the seller accepted Bitcoin as their form of currency. And yet most people still don't understand what it is. So let's talk about what it is first of all, because for me to now be considered an expert in this industry of cryptocurrency being used in real estate transactions, all because I did what one day? I decided to research. I decided to learn what it was and how it worked. And this is not going anywhere. If you think cryptocurrency isn't real, if you think cryptocurrency is not here to stay, you are mistaken. Cryptocurrency will rise as the #1 form of currency used in the world, guaranteed. The technology behind it, blockchain, has already now left cryptocurrency for just being part of cryptocurrency and has found its way into the biggest governments, companies, organizations for their data and record keeping because of how secure blockchain technology is. So now you're hearing you're hearing Facebook came out with their coin, right? You're hearing JP Morgan and Chase is coming out with their own cryptocurrency coin for just in-house use. Amazon is going to have a Bitcoin checkout where you can buy stuff on Amazon with cryptocurrency as your form of currency. Uber. It's all rising. So I'm consistently interviewed, talked to on CNBC, Forbes, Bloomberg, Fox, and blogs where people are interviewing me for a quote about cryptocurrency in the real estate industry. So let's talk about, first of all, what it is. Is it an actual coin? Some people out there are thinking do I actually receive coins that have a B on it for Bitcoin? No, it's not an actual tangible thing you hold ever. It is pretty much all digital, and we're going to kind of dive into exactly how it is used and how you get cryptocurrency. But it's a digital coin, and it represents numbers that are mined inside the internet for its use. Now, real quick, I think I just got a chat really fast that somebody cannot see the screen. Is that the case? Can everybody see the screen with the numbers on the slide? Just want to make sure. Yep, okay. If you cannot see the screen based on what I'm seeing, people answering the question right now, it might just be some tech on your side. Okay, so this is an example of what blockchain and cryptocurrency is, and we're going to kind of talk about it for real estate, but everyone on this call who's not in real estate, it will find its way into every single industry, mark my words. On my website, theopulentagency.com, we have a crypto division. The crypto division is to help real estate agents manage their first crypto deal when that deal comes to you, because it's only a matter of time before you get the call. You will get a call. I just got another call this morning from an agent out of state who said, hey, I was referred to you by an agent in my office who said that you help agents oversee crypto transactions. I don't know anything about it, but I don't want to give this up. I'd be representing both sides. It's a $6 million listing of mine, and we just got the phone call from the Foreign National. We've already done our research. We already know he's real. We've already talked to his representative. And my seller understands cryptocurrency, has kind of invested and played with it, but didn't know that he could actually accept it as his form of currency. And this house has been on the market for almost a year with no offers. It's a unique property, and this guy wants it. So now I'm going to be on having multiple conversations with them on how to do this transaction, and some work, some don't. And I'll explain some of that in a little bit. But if you go to the opulentagency.com and you click on blockchain, you'll be able to see a lot of information about the birth and the evolution of digital currency. So let's talk about what it is. First of all, the best way to describe it is in this paragraph. Digital currency has been around for years. A few years ago, a gentleman and or group under the alias name Satoshi, who remains unidentified, created the digital currency. What many have criticized and advised caution on when it comes to cryptocurrency, there have been many who have shown the currency's value. These experts in the field have been validated time and time again with the consistent growth in its value, technology, buy-in, and popularity the currency continues to create against all odds. Cryptocurrency, a digital currency in which encryption techniques are used to regulate the generation of units of currency and verify the transfer of funds operating independently of a central bank. English, please, Tony. So let's talk about Earth, all right? Does Earth have mountains? Yeah, Earth has mountains, canyons. And what do we mine Earth's mountains for? Gold, platinum, silver, copper, aluminum, tin, right? That's how we get our precious metals and gems. We mine Earth. But why are they precious? Why is gold worth what it is? Who gives gold its value? Oh, we do. We give gold its value. So who's to say gold has any value? Gold is just another metal on Earth. But humans are what give it its value to use as a form of currency or to back up their paper currency, correct? Yeah. Well, if I'm always talking about the digital world and I write books about our digital identity, right? And everything that used to be brick and mortar or real life, there's a digital version of it today. Example, I'm real, but I have my digital identity online. My mailbox on the street in front of my house is real and it gets real mail. But then there's a modern day mailbox, which is the news feed of social media, where we also get our news and information and advertisements. So there's a digital mailbox today as well. There's also the digital hangouts. So you can hang out in real life or you can hang out online. The old door we used to knock on a house when we went door knocking, there's also a modern day front door that's digital. And that front door says 24 mutual friends, 7 similar interests. You both have a dog named Roxy. You both graduated USC, right? So there's a digital version of everything. Well, there's actually a digital version of mountains in the internet. See, the internet is the greatest resource on the face of the planet besides water. Imagine the world without the internet today. There is nothing more valuable to the world than the internet, Wi-Fi, being connected. So if that is so valuable, you could say it's more valuable than an actual mountain, right? It's more valuable than metals because we need it more than anything. Then imagine a technology that is created where miners, sound familiar? mine and go into the internet to find what represents these astronomical numbers. I mean, to say astronomical is giving the universe too much credit. These numbers are astronomically long. And to be able to go in and mine to try to find these numbers takes a ton of energy, resources, time. So because it's so hard to mine for, it creates a value to it. And when they finally find this number, they're able to pull the number and actually turn it into a ledger, giving it a value. Just like when we mine earth, gold has the highest value, actually platinum does, because of the difficulty it takes to mine for and find. If it was laying on the street, there'd be no value to it. So that's where value comes from, is not necessarily what it is, it's how hard it is to find or get. Same thing with mining for cryptocurrency and what it is. Now, we'll go a little further than that, so don't worry, but I just want to kind of bring that value aspect to you. What is currency when you think about it? Currency is simply what two human beings are willing to give a value to buy, sell, trade a product or a service. That's my own English definition for currency. What two human beings are willing to give a value to buy, sell, or trade a product or a service. There were times back in the day when Michael Jordan was at the highest point of his career, where in India, his card, his basketball card with his photo, was used as a $100 bill form of currency. People would use that as a form of currency to purchase things because it's simply what two human beings are willing to give a value to, correct? Is there any value to this? No. There's nothing. There's no value to this, what I hold in my hand right now. Yet I'll hear famous people, we won't mention any names, say, oh, cryptocurrency it's fake. There's nothing tangible about it. You can't hold it. Well, you can't hold the internet either. It's not backed by anything. Neither is this. You know, the US dollar is backed by gold. No, it's not. Not at all. We do not have enough gold for our 24 trillion US dollar debt. That's why it's debt. There's not enough gold to back it. But we're told this has value. This is actually supposed to allow us to go in and grab gold and say, here's my cash that represents the gold. That's what it used to be. And here's the thing. Why did we stop carrying gold coins? Because they got heavy, right? Inflation, you had to carry more and more and more in order to buy something. It took more coins. The cost went up. So then they came out with this idea, which is a ledger. Sound familiar? It's a ledger that creates, hey, this piece of paper that is worthless now represents gold you have here at the bank. That was, right, 150 years ago, 200 years ago. This represents that. And if you want to bring it in, we'll give you your gold back. But then it got to the point where we didn't have enough gold. So they changed the paper and they added the words at the top, Federal Reserve Note, which is a glorified way of saying IOU. Because now you can't turn it in for gold. But don't worry. The only value behind this piece of paper to you now isn't gold. It's the superpower government behind it who's telling you every day, don't worry, we'll figure it out. That's the only value behind this, is the people behind it saying, we'll figure it out. And wasn't this becoming cryptic also? Isn't it weird that we're actually carrying less and less actual money? Because why? Our phones, right? Our apps. electronic payment, credit cards. So even the US dollar was becoming electronic, where we don't actually hold it. So now we've evolved even more, right? Hey, Tony, so now instead of you hoping that this represents gold somewhere, now we're going to have you in your Wells Fargo app, and now you're just going to see numbers on a screen, cryptic numbers that represent cash you could have in your pocket. But eventually there won't be cash or money, and we'll just have to believe whatever is in our app that represents value. And that will truly have zero value because we can't even hold that. Even the US dollar was becoming this. So that's where you kind of start to realize, okay, what is currency? And it's simply what two human beings are willing to give a value to. You have to remember that. And there is a ton of value in cryptocurrency. So moving on, what is a crypto bank? Like, where do you hold cryptocurrency? And we could actually go back. Let me go back a second and jump into the website really fast and just scroll down. I'm getting another chat that you can't see my screen. Can you all see what is cryptocurrency? Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Don't know if somebody's having tech, or that's a different person. All right. So scrolling down, we were kind of sharing a little bit there a minute ago about what cryptocurrency is. Cryptocurrency is like calling the US dollar just overall currency. Now, a type of currency, right, would be gold, silver, platinum, or a US dollar, right? Rupee, all the different peso. Bitcoin would be a type. So cryptocurrency definition is a digital currency in which encryption techniques are used. Now Bitcoin is a type of digital currency. Just like Ethereum that you may have heard, Litecoin, there's a ton of digital currencies out there now, new and old, every day. But Bitcoin is the most popular. Why? It's the hardest to mine for. It takes the most resources. It's the most difficult to find. So if gold is considered the highest level currency, then Bitcoin would be the gold of the digital currency world. Ethereum would be silver. You could say Litecoin would be bronze, and so on and so on. And you'll see the values of all these different currencies in a couple minutes. Blockchain is a digital ledger in which transactions made in Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency are recorded chronologically and publicly. So this is the technology behind it that makes it actually legit, to where you see the chain of all transactions and know that it's safe and secure. I've also called blockchain the vault in a way. So if we hold our money at Wells Fargo and back in the day they put it in the vault, this is the secure vault that kind of is doing all these transactions and holding the currency. But this technology is so advanced. It's the most advanced technology on earth, and many tech experts will say the same thing, that it has found its way out of just being behind the currency. And now what's happening is it's going into record keeping, data keeping. There's nothing that touches the security aspect of blockchain technology. Many real estate companies and organizations are starting to look into, they're going to have blockchain as their secure vault of their data keeping. There's already multiple governments, as I said earlier, organizations doing all of their data and record and document keeping. So watch as you start to hear blockchain. I just want to make sure everybody knows the difference of these terms. So to go back and just recap really quick, cryptocurrency is overall the currency, digital currency. Bitcoin and others like it are types of currency that are digital. And then blockchain is the technology behind it all, now used for other things. All right, now let's jump back into the PowerPoint. So where do we keep our US dollars? Where do we keep our money? We keep them at a bank, right? Well, crypto banks, unfortunately, they should just call them crypto bank, are called wallets. So instead of calling it a bank or a checking account, they call it a wallet, and it's a crypto wallet. Coinbase, there's many banks out there. Coinbase, to me, is by far one of the best. Coinbase would probably be the best reputable bank brand name you can think of right now, you know, that you've had a checking account for years. I'm not going to mention the bank names because every bank has corruption or issues. So I don't want to say something and everybody be like, oh, I hate that bank. So let's just say, if you could think of the 5 biggest banks that most people bank at, Coinbase would be that level. It's the most popular and it has the majority of clients. What is a crypto bank? A crypto bank is tied to your actual real checking account. So when you join Coinbase or another bank like it for your cryptocurrency, you're going to give it a payment method and attach it to your bank account at Wells Fargo, so that when you get to start learning how to buy cryptocurrency, you'll see if you buy an amount in your Coinbase wallet, you're going to see it come out of your Wells Fargo checking account or your Bank of America checking account or your Chase Bank account. If you sell your cryptocurrency, you're going to see a deposit went into your checking account. I definitely recommend when you do sign up for something like Coinbase, you make it even more secure with like 2-step verification process and getting in. Now, a crypto bank is going to ask you for everything: Social Security, driver's license, picture ID, all your information. You're actually going to be giving it your checking account information. Whoa, wait a second. I don't know about this. Like, you know, this, I don't want to give all my information to something I don't even know. You know, I don't know who Coinbase is. I don't trust them. Oh, but Wells Fargo and B of A and Chase, you're okay with giving your social security number to. We don't have to get into that, right? It's just a matter of you having to open a bank account. You're opening a bank account for cryptocurrency instead of US dollar currency. That's all you're doing. Once you open it, here's what it looks like. It starts to tell you all the different currencies that are out there, right? So what did I say before? Is Bitcoin, that's the value of it. It fluctuates a lot. So this is an old slide, but I actually think it's back up to right around there today. That's what it is per coin. You don't have to buy a whole coin. It's just per Bitcoin is worth $9,600. A couple years ago, that number was 19,000. Then it crashed again to 3,000. Then it went back up to 13,000. Then it went back down to 5,000. Now it's back up above 9,000. It fluctuates. It's a very volatile currency, as most digital currencies are. They're volatile. They fluctuate massively. You could invest in it and lose everything. And then the next morning, before you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I lost everything, it's now worth double the value. It's a huge fluctuation. But what you have to understand is there's 2 sides to every currency. Every currency, even US dollars. There's the investment side, and then there's the use side. The dollar could crash tomorrow because of some unforeseen thing that happens, but are we still able to use it as a currency? Yes. The peso could crash tomorrow, but can we still use it as a currency in Mexico? Yes. So it means you don't have to invest. You could invest in the dollar. You could invest in the peso and ride it up and down. So just like any currency, Bitcoin could crash tomorrow, but can it still be used as a form of currency to buy, sell, or trade a product or a service? Yes. Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, I mean, they're all here. It tells you their value of what it is that day for that coin. It gives you your portfolio as you start to invest in it. If you do, again, remember, two sides of currency. So today you could just be learning, I just want to learn what cryptocurrency is at a higher level so that when that call comes, I feel like I can answer some questions at first and then maybe get some help in doing the transaction. You might be on this call today saying, oh no, I want to learn everything you know, Tony, and I want to handle my own. And I've gotten calls and I'm tired of not being able to help them figure out how to do a transaction. You could be on the call today to say, I want to do both. I actually would like to think about investing in it. I know people who have made a lot. I also know people who have lost a lot. So what I'm kind of just doing is a very 60-minute crash course on cryptocurrency. This presentation is normally 4 hours long because it goes into much more in depth. We're just kind of doing a part one right now. So if you were to invest in it, then your Coinbase wallet bank account would show your portfolio and how it rides up and down and all that good stuff, just like any bank account or stock account that you might have. All right, so don't mind the lorem ipsum Latin verbiage. It was on a glitch and it wasn't coming off and I didn't have time to change it for the presentation. So don't worry about that, but let's go into what it is. We just showed you the desktop version of Coinbase. Now what you would want to do is download, go into your app store and actually find Coinbase. Just search Coinbase, as you can see in the top left-hand corner. And this is what will pull up. There's an advertisement at first. Just make sure you're going to the one that says update right here, Coinbase. If you don't have it, it won't say update, obviously. But I want you to look at something right here. Notice the reviews. You see that? If you actually clicked on Coinbase, don't do Coinbase Wallet right now. Just download Coinbase right here at the top. Then it'll open this up and it'll show you the actual app to download to your phone. But notice the reviews. Averaging 4.7 stars. And on average, how many people do you see on one of the most popular apps that are out there? Like when you hear there's a really popular app, how many reviews do you usually see? 20,000, 50,000, 60,000? Look at that number right there. 800,000 people bank at Coinbase, use Coinbase, and give it that rating. You're not alone. This is not new. Cryptocurrency has been around since 2009. In 2014, I told you the story that made me start learning about it. In 2015, when Bitcoins were less than $300, I bought one, just to see how it worked. Then I'd lose, then I'd sell it, then I'd buy another one, then it was up, then it was down. Then late 2015, it's up even more. Then 2016, it has exploded and gone through the roof, and so on and so on. You're not alone. This has been around and it's only going to grow in more and more countries and become very popular because of how it's not regulated. And it's kind of like the first indication of what the world could look like without banks and Big Brother controlling everything. And we all know what can happen there, like in financial crises like of 2008 and 2009. So just know this isn't something new. That should help you feel a little bit better when you look at something like that. Now, after you download it, then you're going to go in to the app, right? And it's going to tell you all the different, it's going to tell you what Bitcoin's price is, 9,600, or it's going to say 5,000, it's going to say 13,000. It's going to show you what it's done over the last day, week, month, year, all time. You'll be able to see that graph. And you're just going to start learning the app first. You're not going to buy any yet or anything like that. As you do invest, just like the desktop version did, your portfolio will be right here. You'll be able to see all the different coins and their prices. But, you know, so it's just the app version of the desktop. If you hit trade on one of the coins, so let's say Bitcoin first, if you click on trade, it's going to open up this menu right here on the right-hand side. And it's going to say, what do you want to do? Buy Bitcoin? You want to sell Bitcoin? Or do you want to convert? Do you want to trade Bitcoin for Ethereum? Do you want to convert it into US cash that we hold? Because they'll hold US cash in your app as well. I had to tell the lady to turn off the vacuum here in the office, in case you guys heard that. All right, so buy, sell, or convert. Now going a little further, let's say that you chose to buy, right? Well, as you can see, there's my bank account, right? It's right there. And it says, okay, for this transaction, you have a limit of 25,000 that you could purchase. So let's say I wanted to invest $1,000 into Bitcoin. And then I hit preview buy, and then it shows it right here. All right, Tony, that's a 10th, right? It's a 10th worth of a Bitcoin. It's not a whole Bitcoin because an entire Bitcoin would cost you $9,600, as we showed in the previous slides. So it's just giving you what you're paying in cash, what that's worth in a Bitcoin, and they have their fee, right? Just like every bank, they have a little fee for the transaction, and then you click buy now. Or you could sell. Let's say over time you've been investing in Bitcoin, you've built up a big portfolio, now you want to move some Bitcoin or you want to move some Ethereum, Litecoin, whichever coin it is, then you would you'd put in the amount that you're trying to sell, then you'd hit preview sell, and it'd show you this information right here on the right-hand side, your information. You could add another payment method, so you can have multiple banks in here. But notice right here where it says limits and features, level 2. So I want you guys to understand what this part is level 1 is invest up to $9,500, buy cryptocurrency with your bank account and or credit card, verify phone number. So these are the different levels that you have to verify with a crypto bank in order to get to certain levels where you can get even higher amounts and purchase higher amounts. Some people will only be able to purchase $500 worth when you first start because you're building up a kind of a history. But I want everybody to try to get to level 3 immediately. And how you do that is level 1, you just had to verify your phone number when you opened your wallet. Level 2, you had to verify some personal information as well. And then I purposely, for the sake of these slides, I show what it's like to not see level 3. And that is verify with photo ID. So when you click each level that you're trying to verify, if you haven't done level 3, then you say, I'd like to do level 3 now. It's going to say identity card or a driver's license. It's going to have you take a photo. Once you submit it, then it's going to say processing verification. You're going to stay right there until it then holds. And then it'll say investment limits have been updated, and you'll be officially verified on all levels for Coinbase and pretty much have no restrictions of investing, buying, and selling. But let's be real. I don't expect anybody on the call who's never heard of cryptocurrency or who's never done it to go out and spend $1,000 and start buying cryptocurrency when you could lose it tomorrow, or it could be worth $2,000 tomorrow. What I want you to do is just play with it. Start learning it. Buy $20 or $40 worth if you have the budget for it. So after you download it, go to buy Bitcoin. Remember what we said. You're going to pull a Bitcoin in your wallet. You're going to hit trade. It's going to say buy, sell, or convert. You're going to click buy. You're going to put in $40, $20, whatever you want. Then you're going to hit preview buy, and you're going to see that that $20 is worth a 0.00 worth of a Bitcoin. Or if you buy a coin like one that's worth $10 a coin, a different currency, then you'll own 2 coins of that. But again, Bitcoin is the strongest, and a lot of people who are experts in the cryptocurrency world have gone on to say, even this year, that there is no reason a Bitcoin will not hit $100,000 a coin. And there are even more experts who understand currency better than anyone, especially crypto and what it's going to do worldwide, that think a Bitcoin could be worth $1 million a coin one day. So does anybody have a crystal ball? No, but start understanding it. That's all I really want out of everybody on the call today, is just knowing how to buy a few bucks worth of a coin and then hitting buy now. Then you're going to open up your bank account and you're going to see Coinbase, $20 debit, because you just invested in it. If that $20 now in your portfolio is worth $34 the next day, sell $20 of your $34 and you're going to see $20 go back into your bank account. Just play with it. All right, cryptocurrency and real estate. So first, it was to explain, what is it, Tony? Give me an example of this digital world. Then it's, why don't you learn how to have a crypto wallet, what a crypto bank is, buying, selling it, so you learn that aspect. And now cryptocurrency and real estate. How has it found its way into the real estate industry? And how do we know it's finding its way into all industries? Where eventually the biggest insurance companies will let you buy your auto insurance and check out using your cryptocurrency. As we said, Amazon coming out with cryptocurrency checkout. How do we know that? Because there are experts in the industry who have said that they know that Amazon is purchasing domains like checkout URLs where there's the word Bitcoin in it, Litecoin, so amazon.com/Bitcoin checkout, whatever it might be, which is an indication that something's coming as that form of payment method when you're buying stuff on Amazon. Uber is saying that they're coming out where you can purchase your ride using your cryptocurrency. So for this presentation, let's talk about how it's found its way into the real estate industry. First, what's the liability aspect? So Tony, you're saying that not only have you, but you've also helped agents manage and handle their first transactions. When cryptocurrency was really the media hype, when Bitcoin was going through the roof and going from 15 into 2016, and everybody was hearing about it and it was all over the news, and you'd hear the news mostly talking bad about it. You'd hear people in the office saying it's not real. You'd hear people saying, oh, it's how terrorists are hiding money and people use it for laundering money. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they've never used any other form of currency for terrorist activities, laundering, corruption. Come on. Anything that is ever created, bad people will figure out how to use it to their own benefit. That's not the only people using it. I've used it plenty of times. So it was just because most people, when they don't understand something, they either disregard it or they even talk bad about it. How many things do you know, or how many people do you know who don't understand something you understand? When you talk to them about it, you'll hear them actually come across like they're bashing it. It's because people tend to talk down about things that they don't know well, or not talk about it at all. Well, there was a lot of people saying, oh, I've done a Bitcoin transaction, and there were real estate agents being interviewed out there with organizations and at real estate summits as experts who have handled a Bitcoin transaction. And when I dug a little deeper, they didn't handle a cryptocurrency transaction. What they did is somebody made a lot of money with Bitcoin, so now they could buy a home with it. And what they did is, before they opened escrow or opened settlement and contract on the property, they converted their Bitcoin to their bank account as US dollar and then wired the US dollars to escrow. That's considered buying a home because you made money in cryptocurrency. That is not considered a crypto transaction. A crypto transaction is the buyer with their crypto wallet sent their Bitcoin to a third party escrow hold or attorney wallet where that coin would be held. And when the transaction was done, that wallet moved all the Bitcoin to the seller's crypto wallet, and that was the form of currency used. That is truly a crypto transaction. And at the #1 day of the hype back in 2016 going into 2017, at one point, Redfin, which is the online real estate brokerage, had well over 100 national listings on their website advertising that the seller would take cryptocurrency. But then crypto crashed, everybody stopped talking about it, so everybody thinks, oh, it's done. No, it's not. It just fluctuates, and it's still in its infancy stage. So let's talk about the liability. Is there liability? Well, in most states, when you think about liability on a transaction as a real estate agent, what can we be liable for when a seller wants to accept a certain form of currency for their home? What are we liable for? We actually have nothing to do with the currency. Think about that. Like, we have liability on all the disclosures and everything, but we have nothing to do with what form of currency is being used. And a seller has the right to accept any form of currency they want, as long as they fit the scenario, which I'll share in a second. So liability, think about it. Escrow settlement attorney, no matter what state you're in, some states we have escrow. So in California, we call it opening escrow with an escrow officer. In some states, they call it settlement or attorney, meaning they don't have escrow companies. They have law firms that handle the disclosures and the contract period and the due diligence period of buying a property. That is where things change with certain states allowing a transaction to be done with cryptocurrency. Florida has done them, Texas, California, New York, Chicago. So it just really depends on where you are, but don't just don't hear it from the people you already know. So if you go to your settlement person or your escrow officer and you say, hey, can you guys do crypto transactions? No, we can't. That doesn't mean it can't be done. It just means they can't do it or they're not set up to do it. Do your research. There have been many times where agents said it's not allowed here. And I did my research, found a company and law firm that handle transactions where Bitcoin is being used. Remember, your job is to move the property and protect them with all the property aspect and protection. Nothing to do with the currency. That being said, title insurance is different. So in California, we open up escrow with the escrow officer, and we also have a title officer representing clearing title on the property to issue it guaranteed title insurance of cleared title, clean, no liens, right? Well, in some states, you cannot get title insurance if Bitcoin was used and the seller accepted Bitcoin. However, recently, the transaction that we did in a state where you can't get title insurance was we had to pull title. The buyer had to be okay with signing a statement from the law firm saying, I know I'm taking a risk that after we close, there could be some lien that none of us saw on title, and I'm going to have to be responsible for getting it cleared because a title insurance is not going to insure the property. They'll tell you that what's on it, but they're not going to give you the insurance. So then what we did is that buyer was willing to take that risk because from what we could see, it was clear title. Him and his attorney signed something, transaction closed, and now that buyer went back to a title company as the owner now and said, hi, I own this property. I would like title insurance, please. And they got title insurance and cleared title afterwards with guaranteed insurance, just so that somebody couldn't come later down the road. And this is just the beginning. Again, ladies and gentlemen, these transactions are just now starting over the last couple of years. So it's only going to get easier and easier to handle and more common in states where it's finally being done there. And we're not just talking residential. There's been commercial transactions, investment. The investor used crypto, bought the strip mall, bought the medical building, whatever it might have been, apartment complex. But it's the seller's right, going back to liability, it's the seller's right to accept whatever form of currency they want on their property. An example, if a seller wants to accept another home as the form of currency for their home, AKA 1031 exchange, they have that right. Now they're not taking dollars, they're taking a property as their form of currency. What did we say currency is? What two human beings are willing to give a value to buy, sell, or trade a product or a service? If my seller told me today, Tony, I want to list my house with you, it's 3 mil, but I only want to accept $3 million worth of marshmallows. I will not accept any other form of currency. So go find me $3 million worth of marshmallows. Somebody has to send me that and I'll give him the house. Here's the keys. I have nothing to do with that. That is his right to accept that currency, because here's the key. It's a paid off property, ladies and gentlemen. You have to, in order to do a crypto transaction, 99% of the time, it's going to need to be a paid off property where the seller has that right now to accept another house for it, marshmallows, pesos, US dollar, Bitcoin. Because if they owned a mortgage on that property, right, then Wells Fargo is not going to take $700,000 worth of Bitcoin to pay off their loan. So that is one of the things that everybody has to realize, is the transactions that are being done are paid off properties, both residential or commercial. Or recently, a different transaction is the person owed $3 million-ish on their estate. They were willing to take Bitcoin. They were selling it for $6.5 million. And what they did is they sold 2 other properties regular and took the proceeds, paid off that $3.5 million, so that then they could sell it to this one person who was going to buy it with Bitcoin, because they didn't have any other buyers buying that $6.5 million property. Another thing that I've seen is because people have made so much with cryptocurrency, they actually paid more for the property in case there was a fluctuation over a few days before that seller could move their coin to US dollar. So out of the, I'd say, dozen transactions actually that were completed, I wasn't managing it for another agent, they were actually transactions done. Out of the 12 or 13, I would say that half of the sellers eventually moved all of the Bitcoin they accepted into US cash, and the other half actually kept the majority of it and rode the market as an investor of it now. But I've seen on these transactions where, let's say the house was 5 million, then at the closing, the buyer gave 5.7 million worth of Bitcoin to that seller. And the seller was like, sweet, like, I'll sell you my house in a minute. Yeah, I'm planning on giving you 700,000 worth of Bitcoin on top of the 5 million you want when we go to close in 30 days. Done. Where do I sign? And now that client will have time in case there's a fluctuation, but 2 of them, they wanted to sell it quickly, and they made $300,000 while they were trying to sell it quickly. And then that's what made them say, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should actually keep a portfolio of cryptocurrency and start learning it more and become an investor in it. So it is paid off properties. Commissions and closing costs on these transactions, I'm not going to accept Bitcoin for my 2.5% commission as the listing agent or representing the buyer, right? I would, because I know Bitcoin, but the agent doesn't have to. What happens in these transactions is buyer wires Bitcoin to third party's wallet, seller wires closing costs and commissions to that same third party in US dollar. So if they know that the total closing cost for the transactions to pay title or escrow or whoever, and to pay all the commissions to the agents are going to be said this amount, the seller, who always pays for those closing costs and commissions, puts that money in there because he'll accept Bitcoin, but all the closing costs and commissions need to be paid with US dollar. All right, so I want to just conclude before we open it up with Q&A. I want to share just a couple things that I've done in the sense of interviews or trying to give agents tips on what they should put into effect or what the mentality is of a seller. So I'm gonna go back to one of the first ones that was done, and so that you guys can kind of see what I'm saying. I'm gonna play a couple videos, and if you don't mind, because of sometimes glitches, just let me know that you can see the video as soon as I get it up on the screen. Can everybody see this video right here that says Dr. Wee underneath it? Yes, 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 I can see. Yes, yes, yes. Can you hear it? We're gonna do a test on the sound.
That's our job in marketing property, especially luxury real estate, is never assume.
Could you all hear me? Yes, 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 yes. Perfect. Here we go.
Where the buyer's going to come from, make sure we get.
This is a 9,000 square foot beachfront Malibu home. If it wasn't so dark out, you could see the waves crashing just beyond these glass walls. It's architecturally unlike any other, and the seller is unlike most because he is willing to accept Bitcoin from the buyer.
For this type of house and this type of amount, I think will attract more international buyer than our country. I'm not saying it's safe. I just want to take the risk for investment, just like everybody else.
Now, of course, there are not a ton of $45 million buyers, but the boom in cryptocurrency wealth created new ones, especially international buyers. They don't want to be taxed on their gains, so buying with so far unregulated cryptocurrencies helps most fly under the radar. For luxury sellers, that then opens the pool of potential buyers.
That's our job in marketing property, especially luxury real estate, is never assume where the buyer's going to come from. Make sure we get this property out there and say we are open to all currencies, and crypto being one of them.
Now, Dr. Chen says he doesn't want all of the payment in cryptocurrency, just some of it. He won't say what percentage. Obviously, hedging his bets, given how volatile it is. We saw what happened this morning. This house was about 3,200 Bitcoin yesterday. Could be different tomorrow.
Okay, so that was one, and now I'm just going to leave you with the tips, kind of, that I've told many agents to put into effect so that they can start, learning it. Now, of course, that was back when it was at a much higher level of value per Bitcoin, of course. Okay, so let's open it up for Q&A. If anybody has questions about everything that we were discussing today, or just comments. Do you feel that you know more about cryptocurrency? I hope so. Do you feel that maybe you're surprised about things that you've heard over the last, couple years to now understand it in a different way? I hope so as well. But I'm always, I try to tell you guys all the time, I would love to hear your questions and answer them so that it gives you even more value on these segments that we do, where it's an opportunity for me to be right here, helping you. The agent who called this morning, as I said, it's going to be their first transaction. So before this call, I had immediately contacted the company that's done one before, where it's law firm, it's not escrow. And that law firm is already getting an email together, and we'll take them through the steps. And as an agent who's overseeing it for them and kind of walking them through it and teaching them like I'm teaching you, then we just take a percentage of the commission when it actually sells. But that phone call will come, as I said earlier, I promise you. And if you're going to be one of the agents who say no, or no, don't do that, or, oh, our broker doesn't allow it, or, oh, our state doesn't allow it, is that true? Maybe your broker doesn't, because your broker doesn't what? Actually understand it, has never bought it, has never sold it, doesn't even know what a wallet is, but is just afraid of if there are liabilities. So sometimes we have to contact our legal departments of our state associations or departments of real estate, right? We have to ask them questions. Call title companies, escrow companies in your marketplace. YouTube videos. This was very minimal today. So as I said, when I was learning it, I would go on YouTube. What is Bitcoin? What is mining Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin versus Ethereum? Explain blockchain. And, you can ask my wife. I would be just literally watching cryptocurrency videos, some super basic, where it looked like 1984 Atari video game, where it shows stick figures and it says, let's say that these 5 people go to dinner every week. And they always are paying out of their own pockets, and some owe the others some. And they get so frustrated that they finally say, you know what? Let's all just start putting in each of our money into a pool and create a ledger that represents the money in the pool. And so there's so many different types of videos like that that'll help you understand it better. But at the end of the day, hopefully today helped give you some more value. Why do I get solicited by friends who are crypto investors to start investing in crypto? What's in it for them? They're probably part of a crypto exchange and like a Coinbase. They're like an affiliate, and they're trying to, whatever they can get you to invest in, they're getting a piece. I don't do that myself, and I could do it at a high level, is be an affiliate. I could be a partner affiliate of Coinbase and get a piece of everything that I just told you. Go ahead and get on Coinbase. I just don't do that. I don't do that with anything. I just like to give value. So be careful with that, because if this person is not a crypto expert, if this person cannot show you their own portfolio, that they've done it for a long time, if they can't show you everything I just showed you, and that they're interviewed in articles, and that they truly are an authority figure in that field, be very careful. Now, a stockbroker or a financial manager or a financial advisor who does investments for people with their US dollar and also does it with cryptocurrency and can show you a history of doing it, and that's what they do for a living, like the one I use, then that's fine. But people just trying to get a piece by directing you to the person who's the actual investment firm, I would stay away from that. And it'll probably get even more popular as time goes on and everybody will be doing it. Any other, I'm just looking at the questions, compliments. I saw, what app is this? So if you can be more clear, I believe the app that I was showing, if you came in late, the only app I actually did show was Coinbase. So Coinbase is they're one of the biggest cryptocurrency banks where you will download it. There's Coinbase in the App Store, and then right underneath it, you might see Coinbase Wallet. Same company, just a different app. Just download Coinbase. You don't, I mean, you can download both apps, but I just have Coinbase on my app, on my phone, and that's what I log in and you know, buy, sell, watch the markets. Take those tips that were in the video I last showed, research, understand it, you know, watch it daily, look at it daily. Over the last few months, it's been on the rise with a couple dips, but who knows, no one is, as I said, nobody has a crystal ball. So if it ever does hit these astronomical amounts of 100,000 a coin or whatever, just understand every other currency kind of rises up with it. And I've been able to meet a lot of amazing people over the course of the last couple of years who are high level experts in the field of cryptocurrency, founders, and the founders of Ethereum, the person who created Bitcoin, that I've been able to have direct communication with. So hopefully I can answer these questions correctly as best I can, but nobody has the crystal ball. So just play with it, understand it, but don't break the bank. Okay, everybody. Well, I don't see any other questions. I just see compliments. Oh, I see one more question. Hold on. What's your favorite book or articles to read about crypto? There's actually a couple. So why don't I do this? I will go into our private forum Facebook group and I will post links of, it's pretty much books. There are some articles, but pretty much the articles I just showed you. I'll send you those links too, where it was the video I was playing, but it was also, you could see that there was writing underneath the video. I'll send you those articles as well, but there's a couple really great books and just people to follow on Twitter. Always follow. Here's the best thing that I always tell people. You know, when people ask me, how do you learn all this? How do you learn Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and always are so up to date with changes? Well, I do research, as I always say, but I also just follow them. So an example, on Twitter, I follow Facebook. I follow Instagram's Twitter account. I follow social media news. So when there are big changes with these platforms and Snapchat and TikTok, I see TikTok or I'll see Snapchat or Instagram tweet, we're doing this now, or check out the new update. And then of course I follow them on their own personal platforms. So that being said, what do you think I also follow? Bitcoin news, Ethereum news, cryptocurrency news, Coinbase, the bank's Instagram account or Twitter account. So every time there's changes, I'm seeing the most up to date. My girlfriend's friend invested $5,000 with a foreign person 3 months ago, and now it's worth $32,000. Now my girlfriend wants to invest with this person. What's your thought on using a foreign advisor? Once again, it doesn't matter if they're foreign or here. It matters what is their track record, their website, their firm. Have you done your research on them? Or is this somebody who doesn't really have any presence or you can't get any information on them and you guys just kind of crapshoot with them and gave it a whirl and it worked? Be careful with that. But if you can see that these people are legit and it's a legitimate firm, it doesn't matter where the firm is. It's an international currency. So, you know, go with those people if it's working for you. Just always be prepared. You're investing in volatile markets. Now, I'm glad you said that, because the third aspect of what we didn't go over was trading, because that's a whole nother more in-depth. That's the last hour of this 4-hour presentation. Trading is you use it as a currency every now and then. You also invest in the currency, but you're constantly trading currencies as they're up and down, and you have a really good trader who knows how to trade your portfolio. So even if Bitcoin crashes, they're constantly moving that you didn't really feel that crash. That's called trading versus holding. And I would say that's what that was an example of. There are people who might purchase $5,000 worth of cryptocurrency and then they hold it. And the next day it's 3,800. The next day it's 6,400. The next day it's 2,000. The next day, there's usually not daily swings like up and down like that. It's down and then works its way back up. But I'm just, giving you a quick idea. And yeah, you can make a lot of money that way if you're holding and there's a massive increase, right, over time. But trading is where the magic is. So maybe you hold a little bit, but the majority is, if you don't know how to trade, you're going to give it to somebody like she did, and he's going to move that 5,000 around so much that it upswings, and now it's 32,000, and he's just taking a fee. So and that's Liston. Hey, buddy. So Liston, go ahead and send me a direct message on my cell, and I can answer some more questions. And I'm curious, who knows if I actually know this person or who they're affiliated with, because I know a lot of people in other countries that do the trading. Another question. Oh, no, it looks like we answered that one. All right. And that's it. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today, and I will talk to you all very soon. See you in the Facebook group. Never hesitate to answer questions. And would you all please engage the post when I post? I see that you see it. I'd love to hear from you. Ask questions. Was it valuable? Was it not? Tony, I already knew that. Go for it. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.